I will wait.
I'll be on mute.
Yeah, okay. Okay, can you see my screen? Can you see my screen? Someone just say yes, no? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, we can see.
Okay, great. So I wanted to introduce, my name is Michelle. My original name is Michal, but I go by Michelle Gutzait. And I used to be a Microsoft MVP, as you can see on my wall. I do a lot of databases, SQL Server. I specialize on Azure, but I also do other cloud and other platforms. And as of kind of late, I am doing a lot of Microsoft Fabric. And I would like to talk about this today. So it takes a little while to start working with Fabric, and especially when during the project we need to write Python. And if we have experience as DBAs, sometimes we need to. The challenge is to learn how to write Python and what can we do in Fabric. So we do know SQL. We learn the components of Fabric, but then we need to write things in Python, and this is where we have the challenge. Before I start, I would like to understand who is in this audience. So if you can just write to me in the chat who has experience with Microsoft Fabric and Python, and so you can say me if you have experience with Microsoft and Python. Okay, not me. Okay, anyone else? So others, I'm assuming others don't have, or maybe a little. Okay, that's good. So this is good because this is a basic presentation. So I guess you will like this one because we're going to have a lot of fun. Oops, I pressed the wrong button. So can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, sorry for that. Okay, let me try to do it right this time. Okay, so first of all, my disclaimer, I'm an expert in SQL Server, in databases, in SQL, but I'm not a Python expert. What I know about Python is based on my project, and I do learn as I go, because at my company, and I forgot to introduce my company, I work for EPAM. We are a huge company. We have over 60,000 employees. And we are a one-stop shop. We have everything, including data platform, development, AI, everything on the planet. And sometimes, so that's about the company. And sometimes I'm being brought into a project as a data architect, and I need to just start working right away. I don't have time to learn anything. I have maybe a little bit of time to research, but usually I just have to go and do stuff. So we are a consulting company, but we also do like full projects. So not only consultation. We, for example, we are hired by enterprise clients to do like huge projects, including like the big shots like Microsoft, Amazon, Google, Databricks. So we do that. Let me bring back the chat so I can monitor you guys. So that's so I really learn as I go, and this is why I wanted to bring you guys my experience on what I learned by using AI and learning Python that way. Okay, so in the agenda today, I'm going to talk about why is it so important to use AI now in development, and we do have that option. I'm going to talk about Python. Where can we find Python inside Microsoft Fabric? What we can do with Python. I'm going to talk about what is development with AI when it comes to Python and Microsoft Fabric. I'm going to show you some example of prompts. I'm going to talk about some lesson learned from my experience. We're going to have a little demo, and then I'm going to talk about the takeaways. Feel free to ask questions also as I go. I'm monitoring the chat, and but we will have a Q&A session at the end. Make sense? Okay, let's go. So why is it so important to start to develop with the AI now? Okay, so we are lucky that we have AI. I don't know if many of you have experience without the AI. Probably yes. And so in the traditional way of development, we need to, so we have a project, let's assume it's in Python. So we need to either take a course in Python, or we have to study the Python in advance, understand the client's requirement, what we will have to do, and then it takes a little bit time to get into speed. So we have some learning curve. Also, while we're developing, we may have like some some priorities change, and then we start developing something. It takes us time, and then we have to jump into something else. It takes us time there. So a lot of context switching. Also, for example, sometimes we have a project where we need to prototype or POC, and then when we need to go to production, it's not ready for production. So this process is very slow. So we have our POC, we did the minimum that we were required to make sure that everything works. And then, oops, we have to go to production. What are we doing now? So that takes time. And sometimes a lot of time, like we need more developers, we need more people, and we don't have enough. We have to hire, we have to check the skills and so forth. So we cannot just take a DBA that can help us, right? Because we didn't have AI, so that person would need to get up to speed, or we need to decide, what is the path to start study and learn before the project starting. So the whole idea of the AI is that great ideas shouldn't be blocked by syntax or development time, right? We have an idea, we know what we need to do, we understand how the code needs to be done, but we don't want to spend a lot of time on just how do we implement this. So why does it matter to your organization? So nowadays, we have a lot of competition, and we want to make sure that, and even if it's not just a competition, we have projects and we need to do all kind of migrations, or come up with new systems, because technology is advancing all the time, and we really want to make things go faster. We want to lower the skill barrier. So basically, we do have the people. Let's say a company like EPAM, we have 60,000 employees or more, and we need to place people in projects, and we always need to find specific skill. So, for example, my example, I'm a SQL Server expert. I know Fabric, I know SQL, but I didn't have the Python experience. So can you come help me, Michelle? Yes, of course. Looking into the Fabric, looking into the requirements, and oh my God, I have to write Python. Let's start writing Python. So even though I don't know much, I do know, I went to school, I know how to develop, I know what to expect, but I don't know the actual syntax. So that barrier is much, it's broken when we're talking about AI, because we don't need to know in advance too much. Also, better collaboration between the roles. So in Fabric, we have the DBAs, we have the BI devs, we have the engineers, we have the analysts, and we need to communicate. So when everybody's up to speed and using the same type of prompts, we can collaborate much easier. So we have a description of the project, we have the description of the requirements, and we can collaborate each persona on their stuff. And because we're working with AI, so we need to understand what it generates, right? We need to understand the code, but it's easier because we know we talk to AI, we verify things with AI, we read the code is already there, so we can experiment faster and have less fear because we know that the AI took into consideration a lot of things, but we still need to verify that what the AI provided is good. And then we talk to the AI, did you think about this? Did you think about this? Can you add this? So it's more experimentation, and it's actually fun, right? I bring the ideas and the AI brings the code. I just need to verify that what the AI provided for me is good. And usually we don't develop in production, right? So we can experiment a lot more and a lot faster. So at the end of the day, like I said, when I started, I had a very understanding and knowledge of Python, but I didn't know how development should look like and what are the things that I need to look. But so it's not completely replacing the knowledge, but it's coming up to speed very, very fast and learning as you go. Okay, so understanding, experimenting, asking the right questions, and getting the right code at the end. Feel free to put questions in the chat if you need. a monitor in the chat also, so I'm not going to stop until I see a question. Okay. So let's talk about, I'm calling it the old workflow, even though I still see developers that are working in with the old style without the AI. So like I said, you need to learn the syntax. You need to, if you have errors, we had before AI, we had to Google the errors, and how we all know that Googling is not always the best, because sometimes you don't ask the right question and you get the wrong results. And Googling, it just bring you like based on a different type of engine, it brings you all kind of information, and then you have to scroll down and you have to really find your problem, and then you have to put things in quotes, right, in order to maybe get the exact error, and usually you will not get the exact error. So I remember before, when we had an error, and I was working at a company that was providing 24/7 support for SQL Server. So sometimes we had like a weird error that we've never seen ever, and Googling did not help. And nobody was the Google engine is not smart. It's just looking for the words. So that was very tedious. Trial and error. So I'm not sure what I'm doing. The experimentation is much longer. And sometimes I need to refactor code from somebody else that is not really nice. And all this is very tedious process, and it takes a long time. But when we're doing this with AI, we just have to understand what we want to ask the AI and do it properly. And we're going to get like the whole world under our fingers, because AI is going to do the work, the legwork for us. Okay, so we just need to describe the goal. We need to, so AI will generate the code. Then we look at the code, we verify that this is what we need. If we need to change, we talk to the AI, we ask for something else, we ask for additions, we ask for something else, then we run, we check what it was running, then we refine with the AI as well. And we just need to know how to interact with AI to get the best of the best. Okay, so obviously AI does not replace the developers, not for now, but it really makes things much faster, and we're going to see this when in the demo how fast it is. So let's talk about Python. Where does it fit in Microsoft Fabric? So basically, you can have a Microsoft Fabric implementation where everything can be done with ADF and SQL. But there are some situations where, for example, you want to migrate, let's say, from something like Databricks. Databricks usually it's more Python, or you want to code something a little bit more complicated with SQL. Python has the advantages, SQL has other advantages, but sometimes you have situation where you would like to use Python instead of if SQL, especially if you need debugging, if you need to do something different than just because SQL will just let's say even though you have loops and stuff like that, it will still work on the whole set of data, and it's really you will need to to write it differently, and maybe the performance will not be the best with SQL. So when we're talking about Fabric, so this is the how Microsoft sees the Fabric. So you have a one lake where it's like you have one storage for everything, right? And you work with workspaces. In each workspace, you have it's like imagine it's like a database where you have permissions to that workspace. It's a specific data product in that workspace or multiple data products. And you have permissions to that workspace. You have a specific type of data in the workspace. And then on top of this, so my Fabric is one product, and then you have all the components, because if you know Azure, how it was before Fabric, and we still have that, you have different services. So I want ETL, then I have to use Data Factory. I want data somewhere where I can place the data, then I have either the storage, or I have the or I have a database, right, or any type of database. But in Fabric, Microsoft encapsulated everything. So you spin up one Fabric capacity, and then you just connect to that dashboard, and you have everything under your hood. Data Factory, you have the Synapse data engineering, you have the Synapse, like you have the Synapse data science, you have the warehouse, you have real-time analytics, you have the Power BI, and you have the data activator, everything under the same hood. So let's see where we can see the Python. Okay, so Python has built-in notebooks in few of those areas, right? So those are native notebooks, and we'll see this in the demo. I will show you in the next slide. So basically we create a Python notebook, and we can talk to the data in the one lake. Okay. And like I said, the security and the governance are already there by just separating the data products or the data elements or the data type, specific type of data into workspaces. You can govern, and you have security. You have permissions on each workspace. So let's talk about the data part of the Fabric. So we do have the one lake data, okay, and usually in analytics platforms we will use the medallion architecture, where we have is somewhere, could be in a cloud, could be on-prem, could be IoT, could be analytics data streams. And then we have 3 layers. Usually it could be more, could be less. But the medallion architecture is the way that we're processing the data, right? So first, that architecture says, okay, now I have the data sources. What I will do is let's say I need to bring data from multiple data sources, and then join that data and manipulate the data, and then do a little bit more manipulation and show it in the reports. So in the bronze layer, we have the raw data as it comes from the data sources. Usually could be little manipulation, like for example changing date formats, or something like adhering to the data types in the one lake. So this is the data. Then we're doing a little bit more manipulation to make it let's say more normalized or cleansed data. Just an example, let's say that we have 3 source systems. In one system, the client is called client. In another system is customer. And in a third system, it's called something else. So we're bringing all the data as is into the bronze, and then we need to try and mix and match the information for one client into the solver. So we get one line or one identification for each of the clients. So this is just an example. And then the next level is more for the report. So let's say if this is an analytical platform, we have to manipulate the data a little bit more to make sure that the model is more, fact tables and dimension tables, more for reporting. So that's the gold, okay? So, and at the end, we have the analytics. So we can analyze the data either with reports or using the endpoint SQL analytics. So if you look at this diagram, so we have for the entire data flow here, bronze, silver, gold, and we have the notebooks. So we have different notebooks, and the notebooks will help us with grabbing the data from bronze to silver to gold and manipulate the data. Okay, now, like I said before, we can still, some of the implementation, we can still use the ETL, the data, the ADF with SQL, or we need some Python notebooks if we have some more complex logic where we need to make sure that we have debugging, and with Python we can also have like error handling better than SQL. With SQL, we're working on a set of data. Then if we want to understand which row caused the error, it's very hard with SQL. With Python, it's much easier to do that. Any questions so far?
Somebody did ask what is Fabric, but then you explained it in the very next slide.
In a nutshell, explain what. Okay, so did you get your answer? What's specific about this architecture? Can you explain your question? What? So are you asking me why this architecture? So this is like the standard worldwide, the standard way to manipulate data when we talk about analytics platform. So the first company that came up with this medallion architecture is Databricks. And this is how we tend to do that today. So you have the raw or bronze data coming from the data sources. So the idea is that you can track the data, you can trace the data back to the data source. So you bring everything to the bronze layer, okay, with potentially simple manipulations. Then you need to manipulate the data into the silver to make it like more normalized, cleansed data. Because sometimes from the data sources, some the data types are not the same, like, and I gave the example of the customer and client that you need to identify the client in a way once. So this we will do in the silver layer. So it's like so I see the silver layers like kind of like normalized data, but cleansed data and normalized. And the gold layer is more like facts and dimensions, which is more for analytics, because you view the data through the dimension, then you go to the fact, and so this is more when you're for the analytics and reporting way. So this is how we do. So now you don't have to go with this architecture. This is just what the industry does for analytics, but you don't have to. And we have some clients, for example, that are adding either just having like just the bronze and silver, for example, or just the bronze and gold. It's harder because you need to understand how the data is being manipulated. It's easier when it's going like this. And we have clients that added more, like they added, I don't know how they call it, but other colors to have like staging area or stuff like that. Okay. So I don't know if I answered your question. And let us know. Okay. Go here. I don't want to disconnect from the presentation from the Teams. Okay, so let's go back to the question where Python fits in Fabric. So Python can be used not only for the actual development, but also for data exploration and transformation. Let's say that let's say you brought the entire set of data into the bronze, but you're not sure what you have. Okay, so you can use Python to read specific, like you can use SQL. But sometimes with Python, you can get more granularity of the data. You can do a lot more manipulation of the data and see, like what you have and try to mix and match. So you have more, because it's a programming language and not just SQL. You can do a lot of like data, exploration of what you have. So also the data stack, like I said, medallion architecture, you can do data quality checks that are more, because SQL is limited, right? The SQL language is kind of limited. Sometimes you need to do something that is a little bit more complex. So you need like a language where you can do something more complex. So that data quality. Machine learning and AI workloads with Python. I'm not going to talk about that. I don't have experience with that. And also automation and orchestration which is the ETLs. So you can integrate. You can use ADF from like Fabric Data Factory. You can run notebooks from there as well. So you can basically manipulate the data as you need. So data quality, anything that requires a programming language, you can do it with Python inside Fabric. And if we talk about the Python, like why Python, and why like this, so basically, you will see as you start developing with Python, you will see that most of the notebooks, they have the same patterns. So let's say you're bringing specific tables and you need to manipulate the data. Most of those things are going to happen again and again with different type of data. Yes, you want to check, you want to verify that the date format is proper. You want to do summarization of the data. You need to do some calculations. So usually the notebook can be repeated or reproduced with the same exact patterns. And AI is very good with patterns. It's boring for us to start, using the same pattern. Oh, I have to do again what I did there. So AI is very good with, we give it the instructions, we give it the specific patterns, but with different table, or set of tables, and with different type of data, and AI will do it for us. So basically, AI is removing the boring stuff from us. We have the fun, we decide what we want, and the AI is giving us back the results. Okay.
Actually, I must confess that not for Python, but I use it a lot. Like recently, I used it. One of my end users gave me SAS code. I have never even heard that SAS is a code. And I just put that in our chat GPT, and it gave me a complete SQL code for that. Literally, and they had provided for about 40 hours worth of work. I was able to finish it in 5 minutes. So
Exactly.
for those who are not using it, you are missing things in life.
So in the demo, we're going to have fun, and you will see. So basically, I create presentations like this for clients. I just talk to the AI, and I get the world. It's not something that you can just Google. And basically, AI also knows Fabric execution models. So if you say, okay, I'm doing a project with Fabric, you will get the right type of code that will apply to Fabric. So I have a question here. Can I integrate there are not tools that are not Microsoft, like N8? And I don't know this tool. What does it do? Can you explain? And I haven't tried integrating other tools into Fabric, but basically there's a possibility that with Python, if you import more models that are even open code, you can use them. So I'm not sure what is the N to N8 in, but it's a good question. I don't have the answer. Okay.
I think Ginger had a full day workshop here in Houston on Fabric. from zero to hero,
Okay.
and she covered a lot of it. I couldn't attend because I was working that day. So, but
Okay. I was not there, so I don't know.
yeah,
Okay, so when we're talking about Fabric, we have a lot of elements, right? So it's encompassing the whole analytics platform. So the role that will benefit obviously will be the BI developers, right? The database, the data professionals, the data analysts. So imagine the data analysts, they need to, let's say, decide on trends or reports. They can use Python to check the data and do a little bit more complex manipulations of the data. And they will see like row by row instead of like SQL. So they can do a lot of things with Python. Obviously, architects and tech leads can use Python for like ETLs. Sometimes you have a lot of data sources and a lot of data in the sources, and you think that you know what the sources have, like what type of data, but it's not necessarily what you were expecting. So you need to do a lot of manipulations, a lot of questions around the data. So Python is very good for this. And also it's good for accidental Python users like me and probably some of you here. So the bottom line is that we absolutely don't need to be Python experts, even though it's good to when you're working in a team, and it happened to me, like I was using AI to learn and to generate code, and then a developer said, yeah, but why are you not using blah? So I had to go and research and see how I can do it better. And eventually what I realized is that it's not necessarily that the expert had the better solution than my AI. Okay, so we need to still know a little bit of Python, but it's just that starting with Python that way is much, much, much faster. So you still need to know what you're doing, and you to know how to read the code and understand that you're doing it properly. But again, as you go, you can do it as you go. You don't have to spend a month before projects. Okay. So what does it really mean? Let's see. So the whole idea is that now we need to know how to use AI. Okay, so basically my experience is that sometimes you're not sure how to start. So you start writing the AI. Okay, I have this client. I need to do such and such thing, and then the AI comes back with the response, and then you say, this is not what I was expecting, and then you start having some kind of iterations. So you talk to the AI and you say, this is not what I was wanting to do. Change this part, do this part, add something, and so it's like you always refine what the AI gives you and ask for a better solution. Okay, so this is you just need to know and to learn the technique on how to work with AI, and then you can look. You will have a lot of fun because you will get the code that you actually need, and you're going to shine at it. Okay, so even though it says here, don't just write me some Python that does X. Okay, you need to have, okay, who am I? What is the client? What am I trying to do? What's my intent? What is the context of what I'm doing? Do I have any constraints? And then you see what the AI returns, and then you start talking to it, and eventually you just validate and refine as you go. So you make sure that eventually you get the best code that you can get with AI. Okay, and sometimes you can say, okay, this is not what I wanted. I would like you to do it in a different way. Okay, and then AI just scraps everything and redoes everything differently, and then you read and you see if this is exactly what you wanted to do. Okay, so you think about what you want to get, and AI will generate the code for you. So let's see an example. Okay, let's see in this example. In the first step, I did not know exactly what I wanted. Okay, so I said, load sales data from the lakehouse and calculate daily revenue. It's very generic, okay? Then AI will generate something. It's not a good example. I wouldn't start like this, right? But it's just to give an example on what we can do with AI, okay? And then AI will return something. Obviously, the AI will not know the names. I did not give any names or anything specific. So it will hard code some maybe assumptions and will use some names and potentially will not do like error handling. Sometimes AI does provide error handling in advance, but let's say it didn't. So then I have the second step. So I have to explicitly give it more information. So for example, maybe it did not do it, but I would like to use data frames, like the data frame. So the data frame is a space where Python will keep the data. Okay, then you can manipulate the data frame. You can do stuff with that data frame. It's like, let's call it like, it's like a temporary table ish, but we can do additional stuff to the data frames. Or for example, you can give it like the table structure, okay, or the tables structures with the names and everything. You can tell it, okay, now I do have nulls, manipulate nulls in such a way, make it like a reusable function, for example. Let's say that's also something that we can do with Python, to have functions that can be reused. And then AI will look at the initial code and try to generate the code based on your new instructions. Okay. Then the last step in this case could be more steps after. You give it a little bit more details, like assume large data sets. If AI generated pandas, then I don't want to use pandas, and so forth. So you give it a lot of instructions until you actually get what you need. Okay, so the beauty of this is that you don't have to start each time from scratch. Like, it's gradual, right? So AI remembers the previous answers. Okay, so if you want to just have a better code, you just tell it, okay, just change this and this, and AI will even give you the steps. Okay, you didn't want this is what I will give you, and then with all the new code. Okay. Remember that we cannot trust AI blindly. We still need to read the code and test it very well. Okay. But again, we don't have to spend a lot of time coding. Let's talk about the prompting patterns that actually work. And this is very high level examples. Okay. So the first thing is that the more information you give to AI, the better outcome you will get. Okay, so like I said, sometimes you're not sure what you want, so you interact with the AI. Okay, you interact with the AI, and you ask, okay, listen, I need to do X. How would you recommend doing this? So it's even before the code. Okay, so you can still interact with AI to set the goal and the data context and everything that you need to give you. The AI will give you some things to think about when you're giving it the details. But if you know exactly, so I will give you an example. Let's say a client gives me a task, and it's very detailed. They have everything, the goal, everything, the outcomes, everything. So I just give this to the AI, and the AI will give me back the result, the code, and then I can work and have an interaction with the AI to get the code better and better as I give it more data. Some people will prefer to just give the AI everything in advance. So goal, data context, meaning, for example, the table structure, yes, and what the data, how the data looks like, constraints, and the output expectations. Okay, so those are the four basic things that we will give AI to try and get the outcome as fast as possible in the first iteration of are us talking to the AI. So here's an example. Create a Python notebook in MS Fabric that reads data from one lake data. Data looks like X, notebook performs Y, validates Z, and outputs W. So it's very basic, and the AI will get all the details that it needs to create that Python notebook. Okay. The problem sometimes is that the code that we're getting back either didn't understand completely what we were requiring, or is a little bit messy. So what you can ask AI is to separate, to give you comments and explain to you each step what it's doing. And then you can interact with AI and ask AI to repair the code so it will see. And one thing that I put here is that always save your prompt somewhere, because if you're using the free version of AI, sometimes your chat reaches the max of the interactions, and then you may lose your prompts. So always save your prompts in case you need to reuse them. If you're using the paid one, I think you can continue without saving them. So here are some some examples. What I like to do is I like to tell the AI who I am and what am I doing. So I'm starting with I'm a senior data platform architect. I have to write Python. Python for. I have a client that has this type of environment. These are the tables that we have. This is what I need to do. And I would like you to explain each step as a comment. This is very useful because sometimes, AI will generate like a huge code for you, and you will kind of want to understand the way that AI was thinking, okay, and how it decided to create that code. So explain each step. Optimize for readability, okay. If you're, for example, if you're doing some kind of a proof of concept or you're just starting developing, you don't want AI to think about performance, because sometimes thinking about performance will make the code a little bit more complicated. So you want to first make sure that you can read the code and understand. And then after that, you can play with AI and say, okay, listen, this part is not performing well. I need to improve. And then you will already understand what AI did as basic, and then you can improve it, okay? And then you can add things like error handling and logging if you want, or if, for example, let's say that you have a colleague that created a very messy notebook. You take this notebook and say, can you please refactor this notebook and make it more readable? You can do that as well. And if you move from, let's say, POC or prototype into production, you can ask AI to give you recommendations how to make it production ready. So that means performance, and stuff like that. Okay, so again, I'm not writing the code, but I have to make the right decision for what the code that I'm expecting. Okay, so on the here on the right, you will see. So this is very 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 it's covering everything that we need. So you give a context, right? Who am I? What am I doing? What is the platform? What is the goal of my notebook? Yeah, and if you can give table the schema description and everything, maybe the data description as well, and then the constraints, for example, performance, readability, error handling, repeatability, and then the output. What am I expecting as output? Okay, so this is very covering. So let's see, AI is good for the notebook, obviously. Also SQL, okay, if you're not sure, sometimes we have very complicated SQL, so it's not only Python. We can use AI for SQL. Pandas, Spark transformation, okay. So
Hey, Michelle,
yes,
10 minutes.
10 minutes, yeah, I will be on time. Okay, so okay, so code that we're going to reuse, data validation, okay, the logic in for example in Python or SQL or Pandas, documentation and comments. So you ask AI to give you comments around each portion of the code. It's very good for this. Also generating documentation for you, so you can take a script and say, okay, please, describe what this code is doing because I'm writing a Word document, blah, blah, blah. So AI is very good at that. And obviously refactoring ugly notebooks. But it will not know what you are not giving it. So business logic, you will need to, if you want AI to understand, you will need to give the business logic and the context. And the data quality rules, if you need AI to take care of those, you need to give it. Security decision, performance, and AI does the best that it can, but you still need to scan the code and test it. You cannot just blindly take the code and decide that this is production ready, obviously. Okay, so, and I like this sentence that like I keep telling this. Like, I have a lot of fun developing where before I didn't, because I imagine that you have to write like long code and you need to, oh my God, and you need to plan it in your head and you need to remember the commands. So now it's very easy and fun to just work it with the AI. Some of the lesson learned from me. So again, I keep saying you have to read it and verify that this is exactly what you wanted. If you're developing, obviously better to run it on a development environment, so run on a small data, because you don't want to wait, like let's say you have millions of rows on the analytics platform. You don't want to each time to wait like for hours until the the code runs. Validate the results, add the test, version control notebook. So I have a question. Can AI help in testing? Yes. For example, at my company, we're using AI for creating test cases, and also automatically like providing code to do automated testing. We do that. So AI is not only for Python, right? This presentation is about Python, but AI is, you can use AI for almost everything, right? Any development. But yes, my company we're using also for testing. So very good question. Okay, I keep telling this, it's not responsible and you don't trust it by default. So, okay, so let's move to the demo quickly. So what am I going to show you? I'm going to create a Fabric Python notebook. I'm going to generate the code using AI. I'm going to do some kind of an iteration to improve the code. And then we're going to improve the notebook, okay? I'm not going to work, even though AI can help also with machine learning and production code, I'm not going to do. So it's going to be a very simple demo, okay? So I'm going to show the Fabric Lakehouse. We're going to create a Python notebook, and I'm going to use ChatGPT and Copilot to generate code to see also the differences. So this, I know I don't have a lot of time, but I'm going to show you this, okay? Okay, let me bring the right, okay. So I have a workspace with a lake house, okay? I did not go into the explanation what's the difference between lake house and warehouse. Lakehouse is basically delta tables, and warehouse is like it looks and feels more than like a SQL database, like a relational database. Okay, so I do have some tables here, and I brought some data from from an on-prem database that I have on my laptop. So I have DIN date, DIN product, and a fact table here, and orders. Okay. So I created a silver silver schema. So I have DBO schema that was supposed to be probably like bronze. Okay, so this is my bronze. This is where I brought data from the source, and then I have the silver, and I don't have any tables here. Okay, so let's see, what do I want to do? Okay, let me just open the document. Okay, so I want to do this. I'm creating, so let's do this. I'm going to show you. So this is my first prompt. I'm creating demo about using AI to create Python notebook in MS Fabric. Okay, so I give it a context. My goal is to show the audience how I can use AI to create a Python code. Okay, so AI knows that I'm just doing it for a demo, and it doesn't need to really be like production ready or something like that. Okay, my first question is, how do I export the tables create command for a table I already have in the lakehouse? So my idea is that I would like to see the create command like the table schema. Okay, so let me do this. And it gives me the options. Okay, you see here? So show create table, describe extended. Okay, I can see this. Let's see. I want to the DL drama. Okay, so and this one is to generate like the create table. Okay, so let's try the options. Let's see. Okay, so here I would like to collect. Okay, and you see this is my table name. And why is that? This is a generic name because AI does not know what is my table, right? So let's do this. I can ask AI, even though I can copy it and just change the table name, I can say my table name is orders. Okay, we don't have to say it. Please change this code accordingly. And again, I'm showing just a very simple example. Obviously, we're not going to do it with such a simple example. Okay, so let's see, orders. Let's see if this works. So I'm going to my fabric. And what I'm doing here is that I'm going to my workspaces. Okay, let's go to workspaces. And I'm going to my workspace. And I'm going to create new item. And I'm going to create a new notebook. And let's call it demo for Houston. Okay. In my workspace, let's create that notebook. Now you see here. So if I just run my my Python, it doesn't know. So it will fail, right? Because there's no, it doesn't know where to connect to. Okay, so it will take me a while. And it will tell me that it doesn't have this table, right? It will not recognize. So what we have to do is we have to, you see, it doesn't recognize the table. No default context. So we need to add an item from the catalog. And now I'm taking my sample lakehouse, and I do connect.
I think you'll have to stop.
No, I do before changing. Okay, yeah. True. Okay, so it's connecting, and then I can see my tables here. Okay, you see orders. Now let's go and try to rerun. Do I have additional 5 minutes?
Yeah, sure. Absolutely.
Okay, so now hopefully we're going to get something here.
So what you're saying is that the name has to be there. It may not be the same. It says
Yeah.
it succeeded. Yeah.
Okay, so show create table. Okay, so you see, okay, what did you ask me about the name?
No, I thought the table was already there, right? Then why create it is the question.
No, you mean what I did? I had to, what I need to do is I need to tell the notebook which data item it's working on. Is that what you're asking me?
Yeah.
Okay, so I just connected the lakehouse to the notebook to the lakehouse, or the lakehouse to the notebook. I
Okay.
just assigned the lake, okay? Because I may have a data warehouse, I may have multiple lake houses, so the notebook needs to know which data items it's working on. Okay? So now, okay, so now I just copy this. Okay, so I'm just going to copy this, and I'm going to tell AI this error.
Actually, even if you don't say you are getting this error, it still understands that you got the error. I tried that, yeah.
It's what did you say? It still understands.
Yeah, it understands that it is an error. So you don't have to say that you got this error.
Okay.
That's
In
that's
what
the beautiful part. Yeah.
what would you so what would you say that it doesn't work?
Just copy paste this and dump it there. It will still give you the same answer.
Oh, this one?
Yeah.
Okay, let me check. So you're saying it's going to give you the same answer that it doesn't work. Let's see.
No, what I was saying is that the message came up, right?
Yes.
You don't have to tell AI that you got this message. You just pick up the message and dump it there and it'll work.
Okay.
In the
Okay.
sense it will understand that you are reporting an error
Okay.
and it remembers the context.
Yes. True. Okay. Okay, so you see now AI understood that I'm working with the lake house with delta tables, and you see I got the result that I wanted.
Okay,
Okay, beautiful. Okay, so I want to create. Okay, so now I'm going to give it another prompt. And I wanted to show you not only this is ChatGPT, I wanted to show you the Copilot. Sometimes they're getting different results and they're both working well. Okay, I wanted to show you, you can try yourself. So now I want to give it a new prompt. I want to create a new schema called silver. I don't want because I already have it. So I will say I have a schema called silver in my Excel, and I want, and I need to insert into it the total line item total per month, no, on all the orders in that table. Output should be month, no, okay. Do it in Python. Now, you see, I don't have the table name. So the target table name is demo one, okay, for example. So it's giving me what it understood. And then let's see. Okay, so it imports what I need, orders. Okay, so you see I'm getting a data frame with my orders, and then it's grouping by what I asked, right? By month, no, and summarizes, and then it writes the results into the silver demo. Okay, so now if I don't know Python, you can understand from here, right? And basically you can ask AI, okay, can you explain each step exactly what it's doing? And it will give you so that you can even learn as you go. And then it's just going to print this. So let's see this. So now I can add another code here, okay? I don't know if you know Fabric, but you can either add a code, or Markdown is like a comment or a code. And you can either run everything or you can run each cell separately. So it's just going to do this for me. Okay, so now again, I'm getting default schema, default marker, silver cannot be found. Why is that? Okay, because I don't have, okay, I don't have the silver. Okay, so in this case, it's because I don't have the schema, but AI will tell me as well. So let me take this. I don't remember what you said you told me to do, but I'm just going to give this to AI, and it will tell me that I need to create a schema. Okay, so I know that this one will work. Okay, so I have to create that schema because I don't have it. So let's do it before. So I add a code before, and I'm creating that schema. Okay, done. Let's run it again. So let's refresh here and see where we're at. Okay, you see my schema? Let's refresh.
Yeah.
And let's see, my demo one is here, and I think it's still running. So you see this because it's being created. It's currently being created. So we will wait until this is done. Okay, successfully. Exactly. Yep. So let's refresh. And let's more data. No, I want to see the data. Okay, more data. Yeah. Spark. Okay, yeah. So we're displaying the data, and only the first 1,000. There you go. Okay. Let's see what else. Provide a vote. Okay, so sometimes the AI will give me like step one, step two. So what I just tell it, okay, please provide everything in one script with the comments, because I don't want to start copying each one separately. So I do that too. And I don't know if it gave me show or display. Okay. Sometimes AI will give us the show command. I will just, okay, let me just give me, okay, show. Display results using show. I think AI, just remember that I always ask it to display the results the way I showed you. Okay, schema, show. Okay, this one, copy. So previously it would just do show, but this time I want this to so it does show, and I don't like the way it shows the results here because it shows it not in the table. You see, it shows it like this, so I can just copy it as a text. So what I do is if AI shows me this, I ask, okay, please show it in a tabular format, and then it does the display. Okay, so I wanted to show you this, but I think AI is smart enough to remember that Michelle always asked for display instead of show. Okay, but initially it gave me the show. Okay. And that's it. So we can have a lot of fun like this, right? This is a very basic demo, but we can really have a lot of fun here and start doing like much more complicated stuff. Okay, you just go back. Hold on, I'm trying to go back to my presentation. Okay, just here. So this is just a summary. So you see that we're doing things very fast, okay? And the prompting is now the core engineering skill and not necessarily knowing how to develop, okay? Fabric is very strong on AI. By the way, Fabric has the component with AI, but I think Microsoft is still working on this because it doesn't work, okay? So when you connect to Fabric, you will see that you can use AI like a Copilot, but it doesn't work as smoothly as what I showed in the demo. This is why I didn't use it, okay? But maybe in the future it will be. And that's it. So this is the future of development. And thank you very much. Let me know if you have any additional questions. I hope you found it
so
beneficial.
Somebody has, yeah, Mohsin has a question about his integrated verb coding tool is available in Fabric. Vibe coding.
Verb coding is what?
Vibe coding is the word he's
Vibe coding.
using.
I
Yeah.
I don't really know. I don't really know.
Okay.
But you know what?
We can check.
Yes. Let's do this. Oops. Vibe coding. Okay, no. Vibe coding comes for a broader AI coding world. Okay. So you can ask, what is vibe coding and does Fabric have? So the answer is no.
Okay. See, that was simple.
So that shows me that it shows you that you don't even need Michelle.
That's that's the thing. That's what I was trying to tell people earlier, that I have started using it a lot. In fact, one of my senior architects recommended that I should also start using Gemini.
Yeah.
So I want to use that too now and see how it goes, right?
We have another question. Was that? Are there situations where Python is not the best choice with Fabric? So here you go. You will have the
Custom is good, right?
question.
Custom language is good. If you want, I can give a presentation sometime.
Can I have a question?
Yes.
Can you go to the slide you have fabric architecture, the one?
The
Yeah,
picture
the
of
second slide or the third one, yeah.
yeah, give me a
I think
second.
in the beginning.
Okay, this
Yeah,
one?
yeah,
No, this one.
Yeah, this one.
This one, okay. Uh-huh.
The other one. But I see in the bottom have a line and says something like in the lake house you can have three of the like a middle line. You have you can have each of them one each. But I don't understand that. So when they say one each, is that means in the lake house you need a three lake house, or you just have one lake house?
You mean this?
I
This?
think what she's saying is that you shared medallion architecture, which means do you need to have three lake houses for each of them? So like one each, or you first was, I would believe yes, you would have to
No,
have.
I have the answer. I have the answer to this.
Okay.
It's a very good question. So you either work with a different workspace, not lakehouse workspace, or you can use the schemas like I said, like I showed you. So
Okay. So
okay.
you have two options. One is you can use the three lake house, and then the other option is you can use bronze, silver, golden. There's three of these schemas.
Okay, so you have three options. You can use a different lake house, but why would you use a different lake house?
That's why I don't. That's why I don't understand it.
Okay, so when you have the medallion architecture, the question would be where is my medallion architecture? What the
Here,
question?
it's here.
Yes.
In the
Okay,
bottom.
so like I said, it really depends on the data segregation that you need, and it's basically based on the permissions. So my clients, for example, they were debating if we're using a different lake house. And by the way, the gold, any of those can also be a warehouse. So look at the lakehouse, like let's say the Fabric is like if you talk in SQL Server, so you have the SQL Server engine, and then the lakehouse is a database. But you also under the database you have schemas, and you can give permissions per schema, right? So it's a decision. Do I separate by database or do I separate by schema? It's the same type of decision that you have to make, depending who is connecting to what. It's more complicated to work between lakehouses with Python. You need to connect by the lakehouse name, because as you saw, I connected the specific lakehouse to my notebook. I can connect multiple, but then the code will look differently, right?
Oh, okay.
So from my experience, it's easier to have in everything with the separate schemas. and not different lake house. Make sense?
Okay.
But if you need, for example, the goal to be on warehouse, it's a different, and then also but AI can help you do that. Like I had clients where we had a lake house and a warehouse, and then moving data between them, and it's feasible. It's feasible. Okay, just depending on the architecture and what you can ask AI is, what's the difference between using two lake houses? Like you tell it, okay, I'm working with the medallion architecture. I have bronze, silver, and gold. What will be the difference between having them on separate lake houses or on separate schema? And just look at the advantages and disadvantages, and you will make a decision.
Okay. Sounds good. Thank you.
No problem.
Anuja,
So
you want to wrap it up?
everything AI.
Sure.
Anything
Thank you.
else?
Thank you, Michelle, for this wonderful session and for answering everyone's questions.
I'm trying.
It was fun just to see how you just did something on the fly.
Will anybody have any questions? Otherwise, I hope to see you guys at the SQL Saturday. And Michelle, good luck being a grandma. And is the Maya coming home, or is she going to be wherever she is right now?
What do you mean? No, Maya doesn't live with me.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Does she come for the delivery, or she'll deliver it wherever it is and you will go there?
No, she's close to me, but she doesn't live with
Okay.
me. So
Okay, no, I got it. So, okay.
it's my
So you're
first
close
person.
by.
I don't know how it will work.
Okay. No, I've written a manual, but you don't need it. You can ask ChatGPT now. So.
Exactly. When is Maya due? Okay, so we have another question. Would you have resource to learn Fabric for people venturing? So yes, you have DP 700. You have DP 600 and DP 700. They're looking to those two.
I can actually share with them the free certification
for
nice. Them, right? That will really help. Anuja, let me just pull it up, okay?
Okay, yeah.
And
also, I think just the Microsoft Learn site,
it's
it's pretty good, yeah. I think you even get sandboxes to just try out the tutorials.
So for those who are interested, please use this one here. This should let you get a free exam. These exams are Anuja, $500, right?
265, I think. I forget, even I kind of did it for 50% off, so even I couldn't remember how much was it.
So MS Learn is your best go-to sources. And then if you want more detail, sometimes pick up one particular phrase from there, put it in Copilot or something like that. It will come up with better resources. Go to those resources, follow Ginger Grant on Twitter, LinkedIn, wherever. And she has actually designed a course on LinkedIn Learning for Fabric. So, and I think Anuja attended her course in November, and she said it was good. So just feel free to follow her. And Ginger Grant, for those who don't know, her name is spelled like this.
And Fabric is the new, it's the new Microsoft Analytics platform. So we need to know that.
Yes. But please understand, there was a very superb discussion that happened on LinkedIn. And that was, if I get 600 or 700 certificate, can I actually get a job? And the answer was no.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, predominantly the answer was no by all the experts. They said, if you are already in Microsoft Fabric realm and you want to do better in your career, then this will help. But you just kind of take this certificate and flash it on your interviewer, say it ain't gonna do jack for you.
So what do you need to study? Databases?
No, you study whatever you are doing, but just by waiving the certificate, you don't get, because remember, in this economy, there is already so much floating on the top for people to actually put their hand in the funnel to pick up a good certificate holder is not scalable, like if I can put it like that. So,
Unfortunately, yes. And you see, with
yes.
AI, we're flooded with experts.
Cool. Okay, Michelle, thank you so
Alright.
much, my friend. Have a very great day. Anuja, thank you for doing this. I really appreciate that. And everybody, Chin is there too. So, Chin, have a nice good night. And we
Thank
guys
you.
will chat on Monday again. Cool.
Yes.
Thanks, guys.
All
Bye.
right.
See you.
Thank you, everyone. Bye. Good
Thank you
night.
for the opportunity. Bye.
Bye.